Hi, my name is Alistair Murray, and today I'll be presenting on the bioremediation of hydrocarbon-contaminated soils. Here are the topics that I'll be discussing. So the main cause of hydrocarbon contaminant pollution includes anthropogenic sources, so these can come from things like oil and gas, mining, industrial lagoons, and chemical storage leaks. In 2018 alone, we've had between 400,000 to 800,000 tons of crude oil seepage, so evidently the problem is still quite large. There's some variability in contaminant structure and site conditions, which is a challenge in addition to regulatory, economic, and technological hurdles. Hydrocarbon structures play a role in dictating biodegradability. Alkanes and alkenes are typically more biodegradable than asphaltenes and resins, which are more biodegradable than aromatics and PAHs. Recalcitrants have decreased bioavailability and may be a lower threat, although they're tough to biodegrade. The water octanol coefficient shown here in the equation shows how well a chemical interacts with water and is one measure of bioavailability. Bioremediation is generally cheaper and leaves improved soil quality compared to physicochemical methods like incineration. Microorganisms that bioremediate do require that terminal electron acceptors be present at the site. In the figure here, we see the beta oxidation cycle in which we remove 2 carbons from our contaminant per cycle of acyl-CoA use. Performance can be enhanced through things like acclimatization, genetic engineering, and the use of fungi along with bacteria. So natural attenuation refers to the natural bioremediation of the site intrinsically. This method is very cost-effective and is also facilitated by non-biological processes. Biostimulation is the enhancement of indigenous microorganisms' ability to remediate contaminants and is typically done through increasing the supply of carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen, as well as looking at other site conditions such as temperature. Bioaugmentation uses the addition of a microorganism consortium to aid in the biodegradation of contaminants. This is done when existing microorganisms are not sufficient at biodegradation and their microbial metabolic activity might need to be improved. Typically speaking, biostimulation offers better extensive biodegradation than bioaugmentation, which is better than natural attenuation, although bioaugmentation does have some applications with inorganic remediation. In situ bioremediation requires no soil excavation. Bioventing uses air and nutrients to stimulate microbial activity. The method oxygenates the vadose zone and can then be combined with solid soil vapor extraction to extract volatilized contaminants as well. This uses relatively slow air rates and can see up to 90% TPH reductions. Monitored natural attenuation is intrinsic bioremediation with monitoring wells. This has a lower TPH reduction, closer to 50 to 60%, but is very low cost, and as modeling methods continue to improve, the cost will only decrease further. Ex situ methods do require the excavation of soil to the surface. Land farming uses above ground treatment where contaminated soil is placed on the surface of the ground and tilled to facilitate aerobic biodegradation in a closed setting. This is done in a biocell and typically has 70 to 86% TPH reductions. Biopiles are similar in nature and use organic matter such as bark, straw, or wood chips to add a bulking agent. After this, nutrients can be added with piping to facilitate the biodegradation. This typically has around 70% TPH reductions. Slurry phase bioreactors utilize a slurry containing microbes, bacteria, as well as the nutrients, the contaminated soil, and water. So these can be done in batch or continuous methods and have extremely high TPH reductions, although these can be quite costly. Looking at the bioremediation market, we can expect 7% annual growth through to 2027, which puts us at an $18 billion market cap. So a key trend to note in our figure here is that monitored natural attenuation has seen a massive increase in use recently, which is mainly attributed to its extremely low capital cost. Comparing some of the typical commercial methods, we see bioreactors and bioventing are quite expensive, although they do have higher TPH reductions. Biopiles balance biodegradation rates and costs fairly well. Bioreactors have extremely high biodegradation rates, but also come at a significant capital cost and require extensive monitoring and maintenance costs. In conclusion, bioremediation will continue to grow relative to physicochemical methods. The bioremediation market will see continued growth over the next 7 years, and monitored natural attenuation is posed to continue growth and take hold in the market. Moving forward, it's important to increase our research in monitored natural attenuation monitoring and look at a better understanding of site interactions, as well as ways to maintain total colony forming units on site. Thank you for your time.